Welcome to the Mystery Mouse podcast. My name is Holly, and I'm coming to you from Colorado, where I live with my husband and our 5 kids and our many pets. And today is Thursday, August 31st. This is mostly a knitting podcast, but I also have crochet stuff to talk about today, and book stuff, and a little bit of shop news. So please stick around if you're interested in all that. But first of all, I wanted to show, I got my stickers from Shark Week, and so I put my logo sticker on my water bottle. All I had before was Animal Crossing and my hair. So I have the rest of them. I'll put a picture up here of the rest of them. I put them in a very safe place. I'm not sure where they are, but I will find them. So we got a really nice little package from Politically Incorrect Knitters with stickers from all of the sponsors, and it was really nice. So that was super fun. In other life news, I'm just going to do a very quick life update. I have been sick. I had a cold, and so I'm starting to feel better, but it's still not 100%. But I have been so busy. I think I was so busy last week that I got sick because I was busy. So I was just doing too much. We started school at the beginning of August, and that's going fine, you know, as usual. As soon as you have a strong start, things happen to derail all your plans, all your good intentions, but we are doing fine with that, and our co-op has not started yet, so that's kind of nice that we could stagger those a little bit, not have to start everything all at once. But I had some kind of administrative stuff from the last school year I had to finish up, and that was taking a lot of my time. And then what else was I doing? I don't know, I felt so incredibly busy. Oh, I started dyeing my advent calendar yarn, so that's been keeping me busy. Our choir started at church. We're not singing yet, but we started practicing, and I'm the choir director. And so I had to kind of plan what we're going to be singing the next few weeks and what we're going to practice. And I made cookies for our first choir practice, which doesn't really help to sing, but, you know, it's just as a little thank you to my choir members. And then I've just been very busy thinking about my shop and what's coming up. And I don't know, it's everything happens at once. And it's so funny because I always feel like, oh, this time of the year, whatever time of year it is, it's not as busy as the other times, but it really truly does ramp up more and more from the beginning of the year. Like January is the quietest, sort of calmest time of the year, and then you get into the spring and Easter and the end of school, and it's a little busier, and then you always think it's going to be less busy in the summer, but there's like extra stuff to do, like if you're taking any trips, or the schedule is just messed up. And then when you start school again in the fall, and everything is kind of getting ready for the holidays already, and then of course we get into the holidays, and that's very busy. And so you just kind of have to mentally, I've decided, just mentally prepare yourself to be really busy, you know, going forward. We're just getting busier. So anyway, I always feel like I have so much to tell you for life update, and then I can never think of anything, you know. But anyway, so that has been going on. Watson, our dog, is 3 months old now. May, June, July. No, 4 months. He's 4 months old now. And he is just a bundle of energy. He's so excited to see us if we leave the house and come back. He's just chewing on everything. But it's so nice because he'll come in. He loves to sleep on our laps or just next to us if we're watching TV at night or something. So he's very sweet. And of course, our 3 cats, it's so funny because they all have, like, Ginger, our old grumpy cat, just does not like him. Like, she would just rather he be somewhere else. So she'll hiss at him sometimes, or sometimes she'll be very, like, Queen of Sheba and just ignore him and, you know, or stare him down. And then Chip, who is our only boy cat, he's kind of a medium age. We're not actually sure how old he is because he was a stray. He kind of is a little scared of Watson, like, you know, because he's got so much energy and he's always running up to him and stuff. So he's not really sure what to do with him. But Nutmeg, who is our youngest cat, she just turned 1 in July. She and Watson kind of chase each other around. Well, Watson mostly chases her. But it's so funny because they never make any noise. She never hisses at him. And he never barks at her. He just chases her and she'll run away, and then she'll get up on something that he's, you know, he can't jump very high because he's a dachshund. And I think they're kind of friends, but like frenemies. It's really funny to watch them. So it'll be interesting to see as he calms down a little bit and she gets more used to him being around, if she will accept him. So our chickens are doing good. Toby's got little animals. They're doing good. The girls found a toad. I think they found the toad before my last podcast, but I didn't specifically mention him. They found a toad in the front yard that they, you know, we just happened to have an aquarium for, so they have captured him and they are feeding him mealworms. And my husband and Toby have discovered that they want ants. Did I tell you this last time? I can't even remember. They have 2 ant colonies now, a colony of honeypots and a colony of Morlocks, I think. And the Morlocks are kind of bigger. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but it just sounds like a Lord of the Rings thing to me. And they're a little bit bigger, and then the honeypots are real small, but they have this special thing where they drink like sugar water or something, and then they hang from the ceiling and other ants eat from them, from their honey pot. They have like a big tummy, and if you feed them colored water, their tummies will turn a different color. So that's my husband's one, and he's very excited about it. Right now, they just have like a queen and a few workers, so their ant colonies are literally like this big. But as they grow, of course, they'll have to get a bigger thingy to put them in. So, and we have a big spider outside our front door, which we are not going to kill because we hope that it will get a lot of flies. And, but it's big. It's like, well, it's like this big. And it has built like a nice web kind of on the side. So that's interesting to watch too, although I do not like spiders. But anyway, okay, so that's plenty of life stuff. The kids are all doing good. Oh, tonight, one more thing. Tonight we are going to go see The Little Mermaid at a local dinner theater. So it's like the Broadway version. So we are so excited. I'm taking our 4 kids, the big kids, because Grady's too young. And we're going with one of our friends and her 2 daughters. So that is going to be so fun. And we're all kind of like trying to do mermaid hair and stuff. And anyway, so I'm trying to get this done before we have to get ready to do that. Anyway, all right, so I have a couple of finished objects. It's amazing because I was starting to feel like I was never going to get anything done. And then I was so busy, and of course I finished things, which is very unusual. First of all, I finished my brown bear crochet blanket. This is my hand-dyed yarn inspired by the Brown Bear, What Do You See book by Eric Carle. And I made this for Grady, and it's like the perfect size. It's like 3 feet by 3 feet square. And I love how it turned out. I did, I started going around it with Granny, I still have a few ends to weave in, with Granny stitch border, and then I decided I wanted something a little more solid, so I just went around with double crochet, and I really love how it turned out. So if you were not here when I talked about this before, what I did was I did the 9 colors for the 9 animals, and I did them in order. So brown bear, red bird, yellow duck, blue horse, green frog, purple cat, white dog, black sheep, and goldfish. And I did them always in that order for these 9 big squares I did, but I started on a different one so that I was hoping I would use about the same amount of yarn, which I think I did. And then I made some kind of plain squares, and I either edged them in the white dog or the black sheep. I put them all together with the red because red is one of my favorite colors, and I really like how it turned out. I was a little worried when I was connecting all the squares because I was having a hard time, like, because I made strips and then I put the strips together. So when I had a long section put together, of course, the red continued all the way, but in the short strips, like, they ended sometimes like a half an inch or a quarter of an inch away from the other red, but I was able to weave in the ends in a way to connect them all, so that was good. I still have ends to weave in. A few nights after I finished crocheting, I started weaving in the ends, and I just did like as many ends as I could stand, and then I stopped and I did something else. But I have not finished because there were so many. But I will work on that. And then this is hopefully for Grady to just snuggle with when he's reading. So I'm glad to have that done. As soon as I was done with this, I missed crocheting. So I have started another crochet project, which I'll show you in a little bit. My other finished object, I am so excited to show you. It is Toby's night sweater. I think I showed this in my very first podcast. If it wasn't the very first, it was soon after. But this has been on my needles for like 3 years, at least 3 years. It was on my needle so long that Toby, who is now 13, he was, you know, way too big for the size I had it before. So I'm just making this up, right? So this, you can see, I started with the front where I did this big intarsia panel. Now, I say this is done, but I still have something to do on here. But as you can see, I had to add on to the side. So I just picked up and knitted going that way. And then when I made the back, I just made it the same size as the extended front. And the back is just plain. And this is basically just, this is basically in garter stitch with like a row of stockinette in between the garter. So it was offset, so it would be really weird because I do like 2 knits, purl knit, 2 purls. Like it was never the same. It wasn't like 2 knits, purl knit, 2 knits, purl knit. You know, it wasn't like that. It was, you had to kind of pay attention. Anyway, so I finally got that done. I finished the sleeves. Can I have a medal for the sleeves? It's okay. They were drop sleeves, so they weren't too bad, but, and then I did the cuffs in like a broken rib, which is what I did on the bottom. To try to show this, which I think looks really nice. And it looks kind of, you know, chain mailish. When I finished, the neck was very open, so I went around and I used my yarn double because this is worsted weight yarn, and I could only find a kind of a big crochet hook. So I just doubled the yarn and I went around in like, I don't even remember, double crochet, and then I did a round of like, I was trying to kind of raise the back neck, so I did like a single crochet and then half double and then double as I kind of went up. And I was so proud of myself because I think it worked pretty good. I think eventually he wants a hood, so I might crochet the hood because it would be really easy to pick up off of this, this V, and just go up and do the hood. So I'm thinking about that, but I'm gonna make him wear this before I do that because that's just ridiculous. But we have got to put a picture on here. Now, on his old night sweater, which I'll try to find a picture of and see if I can put that in here. What I did with the old one, which I got from a pattern from a book in the library, and I put my own, like, I made a thing and I felted it, and then I just sewed it on top of his sweater. So this one, it's intarsia, so there's not an extra bulky layer. But what I'm gonna do is duplicate stitch a picture onto here. That's like his thing. And we went back and forth about what he wanted to do. I kind of wanted to do like a red wall picture. I think that'd be so super cool if it was like Martin the Warrior or something like that. So we kind of stayed in that vein, but he wants me to do this. Tales of Iron. This is a video game. We got him for Christmas. I hope there's no glare in it. And I told him, I'm not doing this dead frog here. But he wants this mouse. I can't remember his name. Oh, it's Reggie, but it's spelled funny. He's supposed to be a rat. He's the heir to the rat throne. This is a really cute game. It's kind of violent. I mean, but you know, it's like you're killing frogs and the blood is like neon green. Anyway, but it is very Redwallian in that, you know, there's these little animals, these rats, and they have their kingdom, and then it's attacked by frogs, and you have to kind of go on a quest to like free your brothers who are like a chef and oh, I don't even remember. Anyway, so Toby and I are playing this very slowly together because he's already played it and beat it, and he wanted me to play it with him. So I'm really bad at it, but I'm trying. But anyway, he wants me to do this mouse. I don't think he thinks I can do it, which is why I'm going to really try. So I'm just going to do him with his red vest and his little circlet crown and his sword. I don't think I'm going to put any green gore on the sword, but we'll see. We'll see how important the green gore is. But I'm not going to show him stabbing anything. That's just a little too much. But anyway, this game is all hand-drawn, which I think is really cool. So that is the plans for the night sweater. So it's done, but it's not quite done. I still have some work to do. Of course, it's thinking work. Do I have time to do thinking work? No. All right, but I feel like a good mom, right? Here, I got a thing done, a thing that was taking me forever. So those are my two finished objects. Now for my whips. So I have in here, in this bag I made myself, my vegetable bag. I have, I'll show you that picture. This is Teddy's vest. Continuing to be a good mom. I am making Teddy this vest. In one of my previous episodes, I talk about it extensively, and he helps me pick out the pattern and stuff. So here it is. I'm doing the back, and I have gone up to past the armhole shaping. It's the armhole shaping, and I've started the texture. Now, when I went through and showed Teddy all my patterns and he picked this one, he wanted the texture section to start higher up. It doesn't look any higher up than the picture, but you're supposed to start it when you are about at 12 inches or 12.5 inches. So that would have been like down here before the armhole shaping. So I just started it when I started the armhole shaping, and I hope that will be okay. So I think I have about 4 inches of the back left, which is not bad. This is a very, this is an easy pattern. I mean, so far, it's just, the texture pattern is pretty easy to memorize, and it's really just like, it's like a broken rib kind of. It's like gingham or something, you know, it's like knit 2, purl 2, and then you do 2 rows of that, and then the next row up you do purl 2, knit 2, you know. And it's got some garter ridges. So I'm really enjoying this, and this has been my church knitting lately, and my sleepy time knitting also. Not that I can knit while I sleep, I wish I could. But if you'll notice, if you are eagle-eyed, I forgot to talk about this. I always forgot to talk about what yarn I use. This is knit in Cascade 220 and Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and there's lots of places where the yarn does not match, but I don't care, and I think that it's appropriate for this supposed to be metal thing, right? Some of the pieces are weathering in a different way, whatever. Anyway, but this is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the Delft blue, I think, and this is the same thing in Knit Picks Swish. And I also made my husband a flax sweater in this, probably in this yarn, and I had some left over. That's why I used it, but I feel like I'm just seeing a lot of this color of yarn. Anyway, so I'm going to finish up at the back and get started on the front. It's kind of nice to be finishing up these things at this time of year because they'll be able to wear them soon. And Teddy is probably my most knit-worthy kid. He will wear this vest probably every other day until it falls apart or he grows out of it. So that's good. Okay, my next whip is a new cast on for me. This is in a new bag. Look at this. Okay, you have to look carefully. Do you know what this is? These are all pictures of Jessica Fletcher in all the seasons of Murder, She Wrote. I got this bag on Etsy, and this person has, they also have Columbo stuff. Of course, he doesn't have different outfits. He wears the same thing. But I will put a link below because I love this. And there are prints that you can get of this, this set, and then they have another one with more outfits, and I am so excited. So they have one from each. I think there's 12 seasons, and there's what, 6 rows. So I think what they did was 6 from each season, and then the other print has 6 from the other seasons. I don't know. So anyway, this was this is just a very lightweight canvas tote bag, and it was a good price, I thought. So I will, and it came from the UK, I think. So I will put that in the description box. But I wanted to use this bag for my project bag because I am knitting this vest for Jackie from Crochet HD from her I Love the 80s Mal. It's really a crochet along, but she's allowing other crafts and stuff. So I'm knitting the pink one, and I'm, of course, changing it all up because I didn't like, do you see how this second stitch pattern thing, this is like a sampler vest, right? It's supposed to be different stitch patterns and stuff. The second one kind of bubbles out, like, and you're supposed to, in the pattern, you're supposed to cast on more stitches. So it's like they kind of overcompensated. And then I started to do this, I think it was this one there instead. And it's like a stitch pattern where you cast on extra stitches in one row. And so you have like double the amount of stitches. And then in the next row, you like do a bunch of knit 2 togethers. So it creates this sort of weird bobbly effect. But I didn't like it. It was taking forever. So I ripped that out. So I'm really far behind. She extended the deadline. I think it was supposed to just be in August, but she extended the deadline through September 15th. I still don't know if I'm going to get done, but we'll see. Hold on, which is the right side? This is the right side. So I'm doing it in this Cascade 220. Let me find skein. Oh, I can't find the... Do I have one with the label? Cascade 220 Heathers, and let me see if it has the color. It's color number 9642, and it's a really nice like dark berry color, like a blackberry. And anyway, so I've done this kind of waffle gingham stitch, and then I just found this stitch in a library book. And it's kind of like a diagonal broken rib, and I really like it. So I want to do the seed stitch. I think it has seed stitch on the top. I'm knitting this on straight needles. This is worsted weight, and I'm knitting it on size 7 needles. So seed stitch is supposed to be the top where the armholes are. I don't know if I'm ready to start that. Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm stuck because I'm trying to decide if I want this to be kind of cropped, in which case it's the perfect length and I should just start doing the seed stitch, or if I want to do one more section of something else and make it a more traditional length. Because of course I'm going to be wearing it like over a collared shirt, so I'm not sure. Anyway, one change that I did was, I don't know, this is a vintage pattern. This is from 1987, I think. And, you know, they have all these stitch patterns here, these texture patterns, and they just go all the way to the edge. of the vest, and you knit it in pieces front and back. Well, I decided to put 2 more stitches, just of stockinette at the edge on both sides so that I could seam it up. And also because I'm not sure about the sizing, I think I might have needed a little more room because there were like 3 sizes, and I think the largest one, hold on, let me check. The finished size, the largest size was a 43, and I don't know, I wasn't sure if because that would be like maybe 1 inch of positive ease on a good day. So I wasn't sure if I just needed a little more room. So I just added 4 stitches to the total. And I'm really glad I did, because I think when I have it like halfway knit across the row, I put it out in 2 needles and stretch it out, and it's a good size. So I think it'll be great. So, but I do want to get back to work on this. I just have to decide if I want to do 1 more stitch pattern before the seed stitch. If I do, I think what I'll do is do the, what's that? Hermione's Everyday Sock, because that's like a very simple, purl stitch every once in a while kind of pattern, and it has some plain rounds or rows. So that would be kind of nice to have a little less going on. So maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll do a few inches of Hermione's Everyday Sock and then the seed stitch, because seed stitch is kind of like move your yarn back, move your yarn forward, you know, it's a lot of that. But I'm enjoying that, and I will love to wear that because I love to wear colored shirts, especially in the fall. I like to wear, well, I wear a lot of plaid shirts, very classy. But I have a couple of like jean shirts. I have a light one and a darker one, and I wear those all the time. So I think they'll look nice with that. Very 80s or 90s maybe. Okay. So I did also want to show you in my little Barrett Woolco kit. Last time I showed you, I had finished the hat, except that it was still on the needles. Well, it is off the needles now. Dun, da, da, da. It's all a mess. But now, okay, this has been stabbed by many needles. Hold on. I am working on the little bear cardigan or coat. Okay, hold on. There's so many needles stabbed in here. And I'll tell you what's happening with this, because I'm stuck on this also. But this is very cute little, this is the bear coat or cardigan. And it's got a fold down collar, and I just split for the sleeves. So it's really interesting. It's knit flat like this. And then of course it will go around a little bit. But anyway, I broke one of my needles. And when I say I broke it, I'm pretty sure one of the kids stepped on it. But it was my own fault, right? So I'm using size 5 needles, and I think I just needed another one. So I got all these needles to see if they were size 5s, and I can't really tell. But I just got to sit down and think for a few minutes and figure that out. But I'm really enjoying that. This knit, it's kind of a mess because it's been in timeout. But I did make some progress on it, so I wanted to show you. Okay, anything else? Oh, okay. So, how am I going to show you this? So I got a whole, okay, I was, like I said, after I finished my brown bear blanket, I was missing crochet, and I was missing granny squares. And even though I was having to weave in a million ends, I wanted to make more multicolored granny squares. So I went to my 10-gram minis, because I get that subscription for the Carnival of Color or whatever. And I tell myself it is research for my yarn dye. But I got out a bunch of autumnal colors, and I started making little tiny granny squares. Let me show you. So this is kind of the color palette. I'm trying to end with green every time, and I'm mixing up the centers. So I have like a gold, a light pink, a dark pinky purple, and or maroon, or berry color, and then a darker green, like a swampy green. So, and then sometimes I've started with the dark, but I'm trying to always end with the green. I'm gonna make myself a crochet granny cardigan. I'm just making it up. It's gonna be very boxy, probably cropped. And I dyed myself a skein of gold to go around all the squares and then connect them, because I wanted to connect them in the same color. Since I was kind of stressed about that when I did the brown bear, I wanted to connect them in the same color that I put them together in. So I don't know if I'm gonna do connect as you go. I've never done that before. But before I did the brown bear blanket, I had never connected any granny squares ever, just made granny squares and said, good job. So anyway, I am really excited about this. I think it's gonna be so, it's very, these colors are very like Sleeping Beauty's Cottage in the Forest. That's what it reminds me of. That sort of dark, like dark secret forest cottage dwelling. I don't know. So I'm really enjoying that. This is my guilty pleasure make, because do I need to be starting another thing for myself? No. But I am housing it in this bag by Susan of Delightful Works. This is the special bag that Susan made for the Fancy Reading Needlecraft Club that Stephanie from Texas Peach Knits and Emily from Oldenburn and I are doing. And so I'm so excited. If you are interested in joining us in the Fancy Reading Needlecraft Club, I will link Stephanie's podcast below. You just need to watch her most recent episode. She tells you all about it, how you join. And if you want to join this round, for this book that we're reading, you need to hurry because it closes on September 5th. So, and then we're going to read our book and knit or make something to go with our reading, if you want to, through October 20th. And what we're reading is Louisa May Alcott's An Old-Fashioned Girl. And I have this book, which is obviously an old book. I don't know how long I've had it. Probably since I was a girl. I don't know where I got it. Oh, there's a thing in the end papers. They have a thing of the Alcott home in Massachusetts, and I have been there. It's very faded. I don't know if you can see it. I have been there to Louisa May Alcott's home in Massachusetts when I was visiting my aunt one time. And I got a print of Norman Rockwell's, I don't know what it's called. He did a picture of Joe talking to Professor Bear from Little Women. Little Women is one of my all-time favorite books. So anyway, I don't think I've ever read this. I've just had this book. So I'm really excited to start reading it. I kind of am waiting. We have like a reading schedule. So I'm kind of waiting until we get to that time because I'm afraid I'm just gonna read it too fast. I have dyed yarn to go with this book cover. Actually, I have an inspiration photo, which I will put up here. I have dyed a very special book club exclusive yarn. So if you want to get that, it is only available also until September 5th. And then September 6th, the listing will be gone. Actually, if you have already ordered, I have already dyed the yarn and will be sending it out to you tomorrow. Also in my shop, I will be putting up the yarn that I made for my friend's book, Did You Ever Wonder? Which I'll put right here. I talked about this on my last episode. I had people vote for their favorite illustration out of 3, the butterfly, the crane, or the crocodile. Was it alligator? I don't remember. So out of those 3, the winner was the butterfly. It was close. I think it only won by 1, but the butterfly and then I think the crocodile, and last was the crane, but they all got votes. So what I decided to do was I made a sock set, and the main color is the butterfly. And then I did a mini skein for the crane and a mini skein for the crocodile page. And I am so pleased with how these turned out. So you've got the deep blue-green of the background of the butterfly, and then some dark orange and black. And then for the mini skeins, you've got the crane. They have that beautiful black silhouette with sunset colors. And then the crocodile is like a bright blue with green speckles. So this is a beautiful set for fall if you're interested. This will be in my shop. There's only a few, so if you really love it, please don't wait too long. That is there. Okay, and now I just have what I've been reading, and it's connected to a tiny book haul, so let me show you. First of all, I went to a free homeschool book swap, which was really great. I've never been to one before, and I got some great stuff for our school year. But they also had 3 of James Herriot's books, All Creatures Great and Small, All Things Bright and Beautiful, and All Things Wise and Wonderful. So the only one I'm missing is The Lord God Made Them All, and I am so excited. I have never read these, and I used to own one of them, and I gave it to one of my friends because she's collecting them also, and I am so excited to get to read these in order. You know how I love to read things in order, so I have to start with All Creatures Great and Small. Okay, don't get mixed up. Okay, hold on. Now they're all mixed up. So I'm super excited about these. I would love to do a yarn series on James Herriot. So if you're interested in that, please let me know because I really want to do that. And what I'm currently reading right now is Churchill's Trial. I borrowed this, not this copy. I borrowed another copy, which I can now give back because I got this at the homeschool book swap. This is written by Larry P. Arnn, who is the president of Hillsdale College. And I haven't been reading it in a while, but I have this huge Churchill biography set that my husband was gifted from one of his friends. And I read the one right before World War II and the one during the beginning of World War II before America comes into the war. So now I have to read the one where America's in the war and all of that. But this is sort of just, I don't know. It's interesting because it's not really in chronological order. I mean, he talks about some stuff early on, kind of like what made him the way he was, and or how the things that he did like in the First World War kind of foreshadowed the type of leader he was. He had a lot of courage. There was a train derailment in World War I where he was actually a war correspondent. He wasn't even in the army at the time, or he was, but that was his job, was to be a war correspondent. I'm not sure. But he kind of like got out of the train and directed people to get the stuff off the tracks, and so the train could break through, and like he was being shot at, and he was very calm. And he talks about how he was kind of like a leader like George Washington, who was very calm during a battle, and just how different that is from a lot of people during war who get very like sort of they get a big adrenaline rush and are very excited and have to use that to push through. Anyway, it's just fascinating. I think Winston Churchill is one of the most fascinating people in the last century. So I'm very interested in him. And I think what it is, I just started reading this and I've already read like, you know, a quarter of the book. So I think I was just thinking about this. World War II in general, I think is a fall thing. It's become like an autumnal experience for me. Obviously, World War II didn't just take place in the fall, but I just felt like it. I was in the mood. So that is what I'm reading right now. And of course, I will be reading An Old-Fashioned Girl very, very soon. And I'm looking forward to that. So I think that's all I have for you today. I have already done a life update. And I'm going to see Little Mermaid tonight. Very excited about that. I love going to this dinner theater. It's really good. It's kind of funny because it's out almost in the middle of nowhere. Like an hour north. And we live north of Denver. So, you know, all the civilization is all south of us, right? But it's really good. It's very high quality. A few months ago, we went to see the Scarlet Pimpernel there. And I saw the Scarlet Pimpernel at the Buell Theater in Denver when I was in high school. And that, you know, that was like the Broadway show that was traveling. And that was excellent, of course. But then the one at the dinner theater was like just as good, you know, really, it was very well done. So they are very high quality plays. And I love plays. I have written a lot of musicals. I mean, for my church, you know, and for my homeschool group. And I'm writing another Christmas musical for my church this year. And I'm going to do a homeschool musical in the spring. So I need to start working on those because my church needs to start practicing like in October. So that's coming up. But I've already got an idea. So that is the biggest thing sometimes. Anyway, I think that's all I have for you today. For real. Check out my shop. Check out the Fancy Reading Needle Craft Club. Check out Jackie's I Love the 80s Knit Along or Mal. Check out Stephanie of Texas Peach Knits and Emily of Oldenburn. Check out Susan of Delightful Works Bags. So many things. Read some books. Do some knitting. Do some crochet. Make things without patterns. Just enjoy yourself. And I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.